Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to speed paint Horus Heresy Death Guard models. First of all, we're going to begin by priming the model white, and then we're going to use Army Painter Speed Paint Pallid Bone on all the armour panels, being careful to only catch the armour panels with this paint. We're not going to paint the shoulder guards with this colour, we're going to paint it with a different colour, but also paint the power pack on the back with the Pallid Bone speed paint. For the shoulder guards, we're going to mix Army Painter Speed Paint Hardened Leather and Absolution Green 50-50. This will muddy the green and give it more of that Death Guard look. Also, just take your time when you're painting the shoulder guards to try and keep the paint on the shoulder guards and not on any of the armour plates or anything, because it'd be really hard to cover up later. For the face, we're just going to use Army Painter Speed Paint Crusader Skin and just give the whole face a cover. If you do catch any of the bits that we're going to paint metal on the head later on, don't worry, because when we cover it with the metallic paint, it will cover the Crusader Skin easy. Next, we're going to use Army Painter Speed Paint Grim Black, and we're going to coat the gun, the pipes on the back of the power pack, and any pipes that are on the power armour, as well as if they've got any gas masks or anything like that around the waist, we're going to give them a coat with Grim Black. But we're not going to coat the blade that's on the end of the gun. We're going to use, again, a metallic for that later on. Also, with the Grim Black, we're going to paint the grooves in between the different power armor segments. But just try and be as careful as you can not to catch the power armor. But if you do catch it here and there, it's not the end of the world, because we're going to weather it later on, so we can always use that to cover it up. We're also going to use Grim Black just to paint the belt that's around the Space Marine's waist, and also the straps that are around the centerpiece of the power armor as well. Now we're going to tackle all the metallics on the miniature. So we're going to use Army Painter Metallic Gunmetal, and we're going to paint the knife at the front of the gun and all the metal that's around the head of the miniature. Next, we're going to take some Army Painter Metallic True Copper, and we're going to paint the two bands that run down the power pack on the miniature's back, and also the studs on the left hand shoulder guard. Next, we're going to mix 3 drops of Speed Paint Medium and 1 drop of Grim Black to create a black wash, and we're going to use this to coat all the silver metallics on the miniature. So that'll be the knife at the front of the gun, and also the metal that runs around the miniature's head. To give the skin a bit more of a bruised look, we're going to mix a glaze. So we're going to take 1 drop of Army Painter Speed Paint Medium, and we're going to take some Hive Dweller Purple, dip the brush in the Hive Dweller Purple and mix it with the 1 drop. That'll basically give us a glaze that then we can put all around the metal that meets the head. This will give it like a bruised appearance to it, which will fit in well with the Death Guard. Next, I'm going to take an old brush, which I cut down so the bristles are a bit more jagged. And then we're going to take some Citadel Rhinox hide, and we're going to stipple all over the power armor, just to give it that sort of like chip paint, rust coming through effect. But you can be as heavy or as sparingly as you like with this step. It's entirely your personal preference. Next, I'm going to take some Scale 75 Fantasy in Game Vulcan Orange, and then I'm going to stipple on to all the brown that we've added on to give it a rust look. And then also with it on the brush, I'm going to run some streaks down, so just with the very tip of the brush, just so it looks like rusty water and it's all running down the power armor. With the same Vulcan Orange, I'm going to go onto the blade and I'm going to paint into like the recesses where the water would have collected, which makes the blade go rusty. And also the same with the gun, in any of the little recesses, just with the tip of the brush, just run some streaks in. If you're using quite a pigmented orange that's quite bright, it might be worth mixing in a little bit of water just to dilute it a bit. With the Scale 75, it goes on quite bright, but then it dries a bit more dull, so it's perfect for situations like this. Next, I'm going to take some Scale 75 Fantasy in Game High Real Blue, and we're going to go over all the brass areas, just again where the water would collect, just to give that tarnished look to it. Then we're going to use Army Painter Metallic Weapon Bronze, and we're going to go through and pick out all the bronze areas, but just literally a dab on the highlight, just so it shows it once was a nice clean surface, and now the weather and dirt and grime's got to it. So the same thing we did with the bronze, we're now going to do with the silver. So I'm going to use Army Painter Metallic Shining Silver, and I'm going to give the blade an edge highlight, as well as the gun, just on the top, just to show maybe some of the black paints come off and just the bare metal shining through. And also the same with the headgear and anything else that's metallic, just give it a slight edge to it. And that is basically the miniatures all painted now. So now I'm just going to show you how I did the base for the one you saw at the beginning of the video. So first of all, we're going to begin by painting the entire base black. So when we put the material on the top, it isn't going to show through. You can use whatever black you want, but I use Scale 75 Fantasy and Game Scale Black. Then we're going to apply a coat of PVA glue all over the top of the base. Next, while the PVA glue is still wet, I put the base in Geek Gaming Scenics Volcanic Island. I really like using the Geek Gaming Scenics range. There's such a good variety of material. And also with using the volcanic sand, with it being black, it really makes the miniature stand out. And then last of all is just to give the base rim another coat of black, whatever you decided to use. As I said, I use Scale 75 Fantasy and Game Decayed Black for mine. I painted these up as a commission for Wardaddy Miniatures. He sells painted Warhammer units, models and armies on eBay. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link to his eBay and Instagram in the description. And if you wouldn't mind leaving a like and subscribing to my channel, it'd really mean a lot to me. Thanks for watching.